We could tell you what it's about, but then, of course, we'd have to kill you. Is that the first time that this was used? Maybe. Well, at number 20 on the list, it's sneakers. Welcome to Long Play Video. Oh, well, it's a nice Saturday afternoon down here in the shop, 7:45 on a Saturday evening in the year 1994. So it's time. It's time for a movie. Going through my 100 favorite films of all time, and we're breaking the top 20 officially, even though we've already got a film at number 20. Spoilers in case you haven't listened to last week's episode.
The 80 episode.
But at the original number 20 is the 1992 classic Sneakers. And in true 90s fashion, we've invited someone who was there, who remembers the 90s well. And Rob's come down to the shop again.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Kev.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. 1990. Is this that's 10 years ago, maybe 12 now?
You look like you're using the same fake tan as you did in the 90s.
That's a great gag for a podcast. Yeah. So here we are. So 1992, Sneakers. Just an all-star cast, which I'm sure we'll talk to at length. But yeah, Rob, we brought you down to the shop because, strangely, this is a film you haven't seen before.
Well, I think you brought me down because everyone else didn't want to come to see this one.
If that were true, you'd be here every week.
Yeah, to be honest, I've heard of it, but it's just passed me by. So actually, I'm not going to do a Kev and say I've never watched it and then realise I've seen it 10 times. But
you never know.
No. But yeah, for some reason it passed me by, so I've never actually bothered watching it. So I'm intrigued to see whether this star-studded cast actually turns out to be good or whether it turns out to be rubbish like some of them do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was watching it all the time, and so obviously, you had better things to do in the 90s.
Well, that's when you were a moody teenager, Andrew. That's what it was.
No one wanted to be around.
I was just watching this in a darkened room with a candle, and I don't know what you're talking about. But to get a bit of a flavour, because Kev, you've seen this film, right? How? Percentage wise,
anything about it, I've got it covered.
Percentage wise, how much do you remember? Would you say?
Oh, okay, we're gonna do that. Let's say we're including the title. I'd say 12%.
What do you think it's about?
Well, this is a good question. I kept getting this confused with Swordfish for some very strange reason. Don't know why. I don't really remember much about. I remember Robert Redford being in it. I don't really remember much else, really, to be honest. I don't think I've seen this since it came out in the 90s. So, yeah, that era is pretty rough for me. So, back in the day, things were happening. So yeah, I don't really. So I'll probably remember less than Rob actually does, which is ironic because I've seen the film.
Well, let me pass you over the video, and what a 90s video it is. I think as far as covers and information is concerned. Maybe you can talk us through, Kev, the video cover.
Well, as all 90s video covers, it's offering you absolutely nothing. So this is quite funny. So it's like it's two pieces of paper have been put together and they're just peeling back, and you can just see all of the people, all the actors just in the peel back, just their faces. That's all you get. There's no trainers or anything. I mean, there's no Reebok pumps, no Nike Air. I mean,
well, that's going to be my joke later on, Kev, where this is called trainers in the
UK. Yeah. I mean, who knows what this is about? I mean, it looks. I mean, as you said, the cast is incredible. When you read the people in it, Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, Ben Kingsley, River Phoenix, Sidney Poitier. You know, lots and lots of people. So very impressive lineup. But like, it's funny that it's on your top list. Rob's never seen it, and I've seen it once and can't remember anything about it. So I don't know if that bodes well or badly. So I'm not sure.
But so you miss out Mary McDowell, who at the time, had just been nominated. Yeah, well, was nominated for an Oscar either side of this year actually. So she was. You'll recognize her once it gets going. You'll be like, oh yeah, that lady.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
well, I think it's I mean, it is a very 90s film. I think it does stand up. But what I like about this is that it is just a really compact, well written like film that kind of sits within a time frame. It's like a neat little package. It's not trying to start a cinematic universe. It's not. There's no prequels. There's no sequels. But it's just a really good, like, enjoyable movie just to sit there and watch with a really good cast, kind of all doing their thing. But like even with that, I would say there's not it's not like a character study. It's not that there's lots of character development in it. There's a lot of stuff that's sort of alluded to. You can kind of feel the past with them. Like, they all have a good relationship. They don't spoon feed like anything that's happened before. So I just think, that's why I really like this film. It's just because it is like just almost like a perfect sort of compact movie that used to come out more than they do now. And maybe 20 is quite high for it. But
I was going to say, like, it's obviously pretty high on your list. It came out in 92. So is this more nostalgia for you, that you were this was the thing that you put on to get Rob to leave the room?
I think it stands out, but it stands up as a like movie that's just like compact and in and of itself. So I think kind of obviously with the Robert Redford connection, kind of like Spy Game or like Layer Cake, just sort of a film that's made, you watch it. I don't know, you sort of you watch it once and you can just keep going back to it because there is sort of some depth to it, but at the same time it's just like just a really well made compact movie. I was going to say it's kind of like The Visitor as well, but obviously
don't say that.
So won't set the bar that low.
All right, so you see this quite a few times, I guess, with the 90s. Rob's never seen it. So Rob, in terms of, I guess Andy's got Robert Redford in quite a few of his lists and films on his list. What's your thoughts on this cast then? Like, I guess when you look at this, does this make you think this is going to be a good film, or are you like, this is going to be an Andy film?
Well, I think as soon as Andy says it's going to be enjoyable, I already start thinking, oh my goodness.
All the muscles tense.
Yeah. And to be honest, like, he's in Andrew's choices, he's not really like a buddy movie sort of fan. I think it's quite weird that sort of like things like Oceans and stuff like that without any spoilers, they may not have hit the list. So it'd be quite interesting to see. He's not a team player, Kev, is basically what I'm saying.
You're so right. I mean, we've covered this off so many times.
He's more just his lone person, obviously with a love interest on the side.
But we'll drop them for the next love interest as soon as possible.
But he's not a buddy movie type, so sort of like all the sort of Tarantino ones and Oceans. Yeah, he's not a fan of any of them. So it'd be interesting to see why this one made the cut.
Yeah, have I wandered out the back? Am I still here?
Something I was going to ask you, Andy, because like, you've got a lot of Robin Williams films on your list, and we debated whether he was your favorite actor. But actually, you've got a few Robert Redford, and he appears higher in the lists often. So I guess he must be up there as well. But were you like, did you just really connect with him when you were younger, or did you like always, I don't know, want to be Robert Redford? What's the go?
What was the name? What did it? Is it some subliminal? Next week we've got my 100 list.
Yeah. Is this actually your favourite, Robert? Yeah.
It's the Rob that I always wanted as a brother.
Robin Williams, Robert Redford.
Oh wow! I hadn't realised that.
Let's go
God,
deep.
we're gonna have to get a psychologist on next week.
De
There's some
Niro
stuff we
number
need-
one.
So true. Oh wow!
No,
I
I
just think you
think,
guys chill for an hour. I'll come back and see how you get on.
I mean, Robert Redford's only in 2 movies, I think, on my list. I wouldn't say that's a lot, but no, I mean, it's interesting because I think watching this for the first time, it was basically like the guy from Ghostbusters, as far as I was concerned, and Dan Aykroyd,
Yeah,
young Indiana Jones. And then Robert Redford, I sort of knew, but almost didn't know. Yeah, didn't know what he was from, or like you sort of, again, it's a bit like Brad Pitt. I think if you asked kind of people the same age as I was when this came out, do you know Brad Pitt? They'd probably say yes, and then you say, okay, name 3 films, and they'd probably be like, Stuff. He's in Stuff.
yeah. Let me check my phone.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like a lot of the like classic 70s Robert Redford. I wouldn't say. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen 3 Days of the Condor, which I think this has a lot of echoes of, apparently.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Sidney Poitier. I had no idea where he was from. I was like, well, he's quite intense. Like he seems like a good actor. And then obviously, watched all of the other films, and you're like, there's that guy from Sneakers, which I'm not sure that anyone else in the world would have said. So yeah, and then pre Sir Ben Kingsley, as the baddie. Just again, sort of, you wouldn't have put him, wouldn't have been able to sort of say anything that he was in, and then obviously you just see him in film after film after film, and also being the baddie in a lot of it. I don't want to say that this influenced his career that much, but
this started it all off.
Yeah, but I think there is a comparison definitely to the Oceans as far as some of the setup and stuff is concerned. This is also, I mean, this was sort of early 90s sort of hacking, like there is that sort of angle to it as well, which
is why Swordfish is coming to my mind then.
I mean, I can see some of the comparisons. Obviously, Swordfish isn't a good movie.
Well, is this a poor man's Swordfish or is that a poor man's Sneakers? We'll find out.
That will be the big question.
My favourite, Rob, will give his opinion as well.
No one likes to suck up, Kev. But there is, I think, a lot to it that is quite 90s, and so it does have that nostalgic beat to it. But also, and I've definitely watched this in the last sort of 10 years, just as a a little bit of nostalgia, but I do think it holds up. And obviously the performances are really good. You do get kind of the sort of sense of the team and stuff. And again, it's not it's entertaining. I wouldn't say like, I often get accused of there being like, oh, well, what does it really mean? And it's got to be like 10 levels to it. But this is, I think this is just an enjoyable, like, compact movie that, has a lot of good characters that kind of work together.
We call that the Andy Onion. So, but I'm glad to hear that this is just an apple. It's just straight off the bat, straight in.
And is it still probably 3.5 hours long as well?
Well, you got to set it up, I mean,
it's in English, so don't complain too much.
Well,
but I used to watch this a lot.
Yeah,
have seen it a lot, and maybe there is sort of a particular type of 90s movie that this embodies.
It's funny. I definitely, like, of all, when I think of Robert Redford's like career and all of the films he's done and like your style of taste, I would not have picked this as the highest Robert Redford film on your list. Definitely Indecent Proposal. definitely. So, no, I thought you'd have gone back to like the older ones, like Butch Cassidy, something like that.
Yeah, I never really kind of got in. I mean, Butch
Too
Cassidy.
buddy. That's a problem.
Yeah, you're right. They're all like
It's about
that.
one man.
Well, we've
Here we
discussed that.
go.
I think we've discussed that from the Paul Newman angle
Yeah.
as well. But
Happy to go
Yeah,
over it
no.
again, Andy. If for new listeners.
but yeah, like that's the thing. I mean, yeah, Butch Cassidy is a long film, and you put in adverts because I would have watched it on TV for the first time, and it'd be like 8 hours or something once you put in all of the ads.
Oh, that restricts your choice, does it?
Yeah. So now he doesn't want them long. Oh.
But I think that's.
fair
I
enough.
mean, yeah, as I think we've spoken about before with Robert Redford, especially for Spy Game. Like, yeah, obviously he's not that kind of classic sort of leading man. I think in a lot of his movies there is someone else. He's a bit like Kurt Russell. You know, there's always someone else famous in his movies.
Be careful.
But I think that's also
You're on shaky ground here.
I wouldn't want to criticize Kurt Russell or anything, but no, I think that's like there's so many of his classic sort of 70s movies that I've not even seen, to be honest with you. So
yeah, fair enough. Wow.
He's a weird one, isn't he? He's almost a name, but like, so I'll probably get to 5 films without thinking about it, and then might struggle with the rest, and then start saying which ones are Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Getting everyone's all confused.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, because I think because he was so big in the 70s, and then the 80s is a bit lean for him, and then actually, the story is that this sort of takes him into more of a commercial angle because he's maybe short of money, and so then this is a studio movie. Like, this is, it was written over the course of a few years by a few different people, shopped around until kind of it all came together. But those sometimes work as well. So
Well, time will tell, won't it? I'm looking forward to getting stuck into Poor Man Swordfish.
We'll have to see. Right. Well, go and make yourselves comfortable. I'll pop into the prediction booth, and we'll see you after the jump. Well, as Rob 2 and Kev go off to settle down, what do I think they'll think? Will Kev remember the movie? Probably not. I think there'll be a couple of scenes where he will. Maybe sort of the sound scene, I think he'll remember. But no, they should both like this movie. I think this is a good. It is a buddy movie. It is much better than Swordfish. So sorry, Kev, if you're disappointed in that. But no, it's just such a well put together, like, thoughtful, great script, great performances. I think you really sort of empathize with everyone. Finishes with a nice bow on it. They should like this. I think it will be, for them, it will be middle of the road. Maybe for Kev, I think it will be like, probably between 30 and 40. For me, it's got a bit of nostalgia, and I just think is a great example from as a kid, like, just a really well made, put together movie that I enjoyed. So, should be good. But you never know. So we'll see after the break.
Average.
Ooh,
that's
scathing.
I mean, well, that's not too bad.
Well, and I guess your prediction was that I wouldn't like it. I thought it was average. I had no idea why you'd watch this like every day after school. Although I would caveat, you were a miserable teenager, so actually, it does sort of fit.
Is there any other type of teenager?
Hacking into
pre-1994, Andy. I tell you, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, wow. I'll tell you what, the timeline of Andy's it's good.
It's very up and down. What about you, Kev? Average as well?
I'll put dated. I thought it is.
It did feel very
pretty,
90s. Has to be said.
It just, and it's funny when you think now there's been so many, I guess if you're going to call them like heist films, like it feels so like that the biggest scene, the heist scene, he has to walk really slowly. That's like, where do you think like Ocean's 11, Ocean 12, there's one of them doing like somersaults across lasers or whatever. You know, even Pierce Brosnan in the Thomas Crown Affair moves around a little bit. So
and funny enough, I thought that the slow walk actually weirdly wasn't the slowest thing in the film. Some of it just dragged on.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the acting was good. Sidney Poitier was like amazing. You're just like, God, yeah, it does make you think. Like, I haven't seen many of his films. I probably should go back and watch some of them. Redford's pretty
quite
good.
I mean,
Dan Aykroyd's like super average, and I'm thinking, did he always play characters that believes in conspiracy theories? Or I'm trying to remember if he actually believes in them in real life, or if he just plays so many characters that believes them.
He's typecast.
I don't think there was any sort of there wasn't any sort of charisma between them all though. Sort of like they were all very individual performances. I thought you didn't sort of like obviously compare it to Oceans, where actually it came across quite a buddy movie, where these guys just seem to be almost acting on their own every time.
Well, so she said in part 1, Rob, wasn't it? Andy hates buddies. I mean buddy movies. No. Yeah, I think that's a fair point, actually. Yeah, you're right. They're all good in silo, whereas I guess with Oceans, you have like the two like brothers or whatever always sniping at each other. Then you've got obviously Brad and George are connected. So yeah, you do have those little bonds that they build in Oceans. It's just I mean, considering I've seen this film before, I mean probably in the 90s, but I had no idea and did not remember the plot twist. I mean. So I was like, "Oh, it's Ben Kingsley. Oh, he's got it right a minute."
I mean, that's not the most abnormal thing in the world if you're not to remember the plot of a movie, but
it's true. I mean, it made it more enjoyable the second time around. That would have made it even worse if I already knew that as well.
Did you recognize the where they were doing the hacking in the first bit in 1969?
No,
in the library.
Yeah, where like for the shots from outside, where they were.
Is it Back to the Future?
It is, yeah. So the clock tower, yeah.
There you go.
You know, so
much better film at number 20 than than this.
Oh no, I still enjoy it. It is very 90s, it has to be said.
Yeah.
I think they do have good chemistry, but like in pairs, not as a group. But like I think sort of the time when obviously Dan Aykroyd and Sidney Poitier were sort of in the van together, just by themselves. Like they do kind of pair up and in different times, but I think you do get a sense of them as a group, or like especially when they get kind of brought back into it when they then trash Liz's home. Presumably that's why they're not together anymore. But I think you have a sense of history with them, because I think there's a lot of just kind of references to other things, and I think that the script is good. So they're like they don't explain everything all the time. There's not just sort of someone sort of sitting there explaining the movie to you. There's just like references to stuff that's gone before that then they just kind of pick up in a bit of a. Yeah, okay, as we say, like about films back in the day, they're just like, this happened, don't worry about it. That's just kind of building into their character arc, and they don't have to go into it too much, but just kind of move on and get going with the heist.
Yeah, but just because they're a group doesn't mean they're buddies.
Oh, look at it. Look at him dissecting the podcast. I mean, this is why we brought this expert in. You know.
His 100 buddy movies. This isn't going to get
season 5 buddy movies.
Yeah. I must say I didn't really feel like there was like, that's the thing with Oceans, like it is all like it does feel connected, and you do move from like one scene with a few of them to another scene with a few of them, so it feels nice. I don't know. I mean, River Phoenix I thought was okay, but like he doesn't really have many scenes. He doesn't really do much.
I don't think he
so
was in a good place at the time of filming.
Oh yeah.
To be
Oh,
fair,
sorry.
so.
It gets better after that, so that's good news. Then yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like Redford and Poitier are almost a little bit too similar. So I'm not sure. Like they're both playing the same kind of character, like sort of, you know, straight laced, maybe like a, you know, slightly quirky. I don't know. I mean, at one point I did wrote down, which I'm sure you will. Oh, it's a good job you're sitting down, Andy. But is this a poor man's Hudson Hawk? That's where I got to.
I mean, great film. I do love Hudson Hawk, but
season 2. Yeah,
it's yeah, I'll happily watch that. But I would say the villains in this are probably a bit more mainstream than the villains in Hudson Hawk. Not to sing Richard E. Grant, but
it was just the way that it sort of moves around, right? It's all like, oh, it's the FBI, oh, it's the CIA, oh, it's the Russians, oh, it's the NSA. You know what's going on here?
But isn't that a bit of the 90s? They're searching for the new baddies, and it turns out that it's still the Russians. Even though
still the US,
walls
really,
come down,
isn't it? That's the problem.
But I think there was I think that is very of the 90s as well, though, that all of the different agencies in America, suddenly you are hearing about them and like the differences between them, and you have you have like an FBI movie and like Point Break, and then you have the CIA movies, and I mean all of the sort of foreign war movies. And I think this is probably the first time I'd ever heard of the NSA back in the day, and still I think it's the only time I've heard of the NSA even now. So I think it's I think that's the thing, isn't it? Okay, well, if we don't have someone to fight, if we don't have like the Russians as the baddies, then actually we're just going to turn a bit in on ourselves. And I think I mean it's my question was, is this the most 90s film on the list? I think Free Jack and Thomas Crown were the other two nominations.
Well, I don't think you can say Thomas Crown. I think that's out of the race, but definitely Free Jack's going to be up there as well. Yeah.
A lot of the same computer graphics used.
I think Mick pulls Free Jack through. I think this is probably more 90s.
They needed a star like Mick Jagger, even though they've got like two of the best actors of all time.
What was there anything you liked then, Rob? Like, obviously, it seemed a bit slow and not really a buddy movie. Was there anything you enjoyed?
Not really, to be honest with
you. Scathing. You know.
I thought it was all a bit stupid, really. Sort of average. There were quite a few scenes that I've then like the thing at the end where they're talking to Darth Vader, and they sort of say, "Oh, we want this," and I want sort of a holiday, and they obviously did that in a different way in Armageddon, didn't they? When they were saying that they want to do sort of like write off all their records and stuff. So there were a couple of things that I thought that's either been done in another film. Now, whether this film had nicked it from previous films, but there was probably 3 or 4 scenes that I thought, I've seen that.
I think they've taken it from this one. This came out in 92.
But it's almost a case of whether this was the first time that they did that sort of joke. And obviously sort of all the computer stuff. And I can't remember what it was, but I'm sure there was a film with a little kid who did the same sort of thing about sort of hacking into everything.
Daryl.
Well,
I thought it was Daryl, but then I couldn't remember whether he was
E.T.
a robot.
He was a robot, but I think he did he plugs into the cash machine to get them cash and helps people and stuff. I mean, obviously, maybe is that a spoiler for your films that are like this?
It's a good one, yeah.
And I do think the scene, so when they have got sort of like when they're looking for the box and they're looking at the office and he's gone in and you're like, that you can see sort of like the screen and then it pans out and there's this big van on top of the hill looking into their office. And you're like, I'm not sure that is that covert, really. It was just ridiculous. So,
well, they find them. That's where they do. They see the van, especially when he's flashing the lights, and some guards do go out to him. So I mean, I thought the most ridiculous thing for me was when they mistake Dan Aykroyd for River Phoenix. As far as like, oh no, the gardener's over there. I wondered if that was a flashback to when you went to pick up Poppy and people mistook you for me. So
Yeah, I'm not sure River would have been too impressed by that.
Yeah,
as long as the hat's the same color, then it's fine. Not even the great fall over the desk at the start. I mean, that's a classic.
So funny.
That's a classic bit.
Yeah,
not even
that set it up for like the final heist, guys, is going to be slow because just in case you hadn't got this, he's old. He can't even jump. So it's like, so that final heist is not going to be like, energetic. That was a classic. That was a good little fall over the desk. I must admit, completely like unnecessary but brilliant.
Yeah.
It's funny because I looked at, so Redford was 56 when it came out. Yeah, and Sidney Poitier 65, Liz was 40, and Dan Aykroyd was 40 as well. So actually, they're quite old. And there's well, obviously there's 25 years between Aykroyd and Sidney Poitier. And actually, when you look at them all together, they actually all look the same age, and all probably look about 60.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, Dan's always looked a little bit older than his years, I would say. But yeah, I mean, that's and then I mean, old people doing these types of films. I feel like this maybe was one of the first, because then obviously you've got like Red, and you've got like all of the films. They go into space. They go to Vegas. There's so many of them. But I think it's a testament to the names and how good they are at acting. That they do seem. I presume they're supposed to be like sort of low 50s in the film, because it's not like okay, well, we're all retiring.
Well, that's what I thought about Sidney Poitier when they said, "Well, why'd you leave the CIA?" And I was like, "Because he's retired.
Because he's 64.
He's like taking his pension. He hasn't left."
Yeah,
I don't know why his family's allowed to leave and Liz isn't when they find out what the box can do. I think that's a bit mean.
You never know. You could always have been her. I did think it was funny, like when they have to take the job on, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll do the job," and they're like negotiating, and they say, "Right, well, we'll give you $175,000." I was just thinking, my God, like people wouldn't even get out of bed for that now. Like that's such a ridiculous amount of money for something so like potentially like life-threatening,
and split 5 ways. So just like, and like it's the 90s, like 175k in the 90s. That still wasn't a great amount of money.
No, that was funny.
Well, you know, they hadn't had shrinkflation yet. It was
true. You could get a proper size packet of crisps.
It would be about 400 grand today.
Yeah, which is as we all know, we don't get out of bed for that. So
so that would
between
have been
5 of us.
100,
Oh my God. Yeah, we'll have to get rid of some people out of the fellowship. We can't be splitting 400 5 ways.
we can't split the royalties amongst everyone. So,
was there anything new that you noticed watching it this time, Andy?
No, I think not that much. I would say why do they go back to the office after they finish it all? That's a bit strange, considering that they left the office. Why don't they go back to Liz's? But that's fine, because that it's not. I don't think it's supposed to be a true to life. This is a blueprint for how you do heists. Yeah, and obviously then they can get it back. I think it's quite funny when they're doing the phone call and he says, "Are you interested in astronomy?" And he says, "Yes, I'm interested in all sorts of astronomy," and he's telling the truth. And obviously that's true, because he's Darth Vader, so he is interested in all different types of astronomy. Robert Redford gets hit in the head quite a lot. I think he would be suffering from a concussion for quite a long time, between the 3 punches to the head with a gun and the sleeper choker hold. I feel like he wouldn't be able to just walk it off. I do still think the script is really good. I think that I think the score is very 90s, but it is very
Oh my god, it's so 90s. Well, go on. I've just remembered my point about this.
I think it adds to it, because without it, I don't think there would be any tension whatsoever. So it was a bit more of a throwback to the 90s. It did seem a bit more dated. Funnily enough, when I put the DVD on, there was no like menu, there was no nothing. So I think actually it might be one of my oldest DVDs. And I might have got this when I first got a DVD player, and there was nothing on. I put it on and the film just started. I was like, oh, okay, this is
3-star review, no extras.
Yeah,
I'm
but
surprised you said that about the music, because I thought the music was absolutely terrible. I thought they tried to like put in tension, and I actually normally in a film I don't really notice the music because it just adds to the scene. Whereas with this, I was noticing the music, so I was like, "What are they doing? Like, who put this together?" And then I think like in the main like heist, it sounds like they're playing like Christmas music. I was like, "What is going on at the moment?" Like. I thought the music was very bizarre, personally. Yeah, it seemed a bit strange to me.
Yeah, I thought it was almost sort of worse 90s. It wasn't even sort of decent 90s stuff.
No,
like Free Jack.
Like Free Jack.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mick Jagger. Any questions the film asks or answers, Rob?
No. Again,
no. You didn't take any notes. You were just like, well, it's rubbish, and that's all I need to say.
This is why I never watched it in the 90s.
Spoiler.
What about you then? Andy, anything from you?
No, just how 90s kind of movie be was very pretty much it. Maybe the other one is, do you remember a time when all the conspiracy theories sort of made him sound like an insane person rather than just like a fairly normal Republican voter these days? I definitely think he'd be on the Joe Rogan podcast. It'd be fine. It'd fit right in, right? So,
oh my god, it's concerningly worrying, isn't it? It really is. Yeah, it's not good. Well, all right then. Well, let's get on
mutilations. Well, even the conspiracy theories that he says are like those were classic conspiracy theories back in the day, and I think that's it's almost refreshing to remember those conspiracy theories rather than conspiracy theories are a lot darker these days than they used to be. It used to just be there were aliens we don't know about. The CIA caused an earthquake. It was all it was all fairly just sort of japes. Whereas now it's a lot darker. So
everyone's been killed by them. Yeah, it was funny, wasn't it? Going back to that,
I did like at the beginning as well. I did like the static on TV, like the fact like that there was static. That's something that modern watchers are going to be like, well, what's that doing on the TV? Why is it those black and white bits? I was like, oh yeah, you remember that?
Oh my lord, it's so fun, isn't it, to think that like in our lifetime, like things like this have changed so much. From you didn't really have a telly to you'd have a telly in the house to you then have a telly in every room to then you have a remote control that controls the telly. It was just like
then you have a telly in your pocket that you can pull out at any time, anywhere you are, and watch TV. Imagine watching TV outside. As in the 90s, that was just like, what? How would you be able to do that?
Yeah, and then you'd be like, why would you do that? And you're like, it's a good point. Why do we do that? But it now happens.
We can always be never further than 4 inches away from a TV screen. How awesome.
We can watch a crap film from the 90s outside on our phone. That's what the whole idea was.
Oh, that's why I invented, isn't it?
Although I think a lot of the data stuff holds up, the hacking and him saying it's all about information and the crypto, and obviously now everyone worried about what do quantum computing mean to cryptology and your passwords and stuff. So for that, I think for as you said, this probably stands up more than Swordfish as far as how computers actually work and how data gets transferred.
Yeah, I think you are probably right. Actually, they're definitely Swordfish is not going to be known for its accuracy in the IT realms.
So basically, this is the birth of Swordfish, of Armageddon, and Ocean's 11. Basically, this is the genus buddy movie.
Wow!
And
Look how he's
Superman
turning it
3.
around, Rob. Like, don't let him have it.
Superman 3.
And Superman. Oh well, look, I think there was lots of opportunities to get some better people in here. So, Rob, what did you have for? Would you deep fake Keanu Reeves in every role, or would you add in Gosling or Stone to any?
I mean, my question was actually, was Swayze a 90s Redford, and we just didn't even appreciate it. Maybe
Swayze was great. I definitely appreciated him. I mean, if you haven't, Andy, then yeah, season 2 is going to be long.
Yeah, but Swayze wouldn't be hitting the head 3 times with a gun, though, would he?
Oh no,
he's too good for that.
Yeah,
that would just make it completely unbelievable. You couldn't deep fake him in. People would be like, "No, this is deep fake." Swayze wouldn't take that 3 times.
There's no way that would happen.
And there was too much dialogue for Keanu, I thought, in this one. He would have struggled with it.
Oh man, Rob, you have got. I woke up on the right side of the bed today. It's blowing out.
I only thought that Keanu would be able to do the river. The river thing, because again, there's not that many lines, and I just sort of see a young Keanu there. I don't think Gosling and Stone are in. Yeah, I don't think that they would fit. I don't think Stone would be able to take on Liz's role.
I had Stone for Portier's role, and then Gosling as the blind guy.
Oh.
I thought that could work.
Yeah, I'm not thinking. I wouldn't say Stone's a young Sidney Poitier for a number of reasons.
Well, you know,
it's not a common view that.
Yeah, you guys need to check the internet out more. That is all over it.
The corners of the internet that you're on, I don't think I want to go to.
But no, make sure you open them. Yeah,
but that's the thing. But you need the older heads, right? You need it's people who are experienced and stuff. It's quite funny when they are going through the everyone's background and stuff. That felt very 90s as well, very sort of Mask, early Mission Impossible, actually the TV show rather than the movies. And I do love that as they're going through each of the people, for him, they've actually bought an empty envelope to make the point. They don't just say to him, "Oh, and we couldn't find a file on you." They've literally bought a file that's empty, and you're like, so when they were packing up and they say, "Okay, we're going to go over and get," and they're like, "Why are you bringing an empty envelope?" "Oh no, bear with me. It's going to be it's going to be a great reveal."
Yeah, do not worry about this. He will not see it coming. Last minute, bang, that's you.
Okay. So. Yeah, which character did you desperately want to be then, Rob?
They thought he wasn't security guard. The guy who owned the office next to Ben Kingsley. He seemed all right. All right, he's obviously got a bit of a way about him.
Good old Vernon.
Accidentally caught up in it all. What's happened here?
Yeah. Do you stop at every stop sign? Is your trash that clean? Is it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was very, very, very smart trash, I thought. So
he does have the best line, which I presume, Kev, you use as a chat up line. I just
I know the one you mean. Shall I phone you or nudge you?
Yeah.
I wrote that down as
I wrote that down as well.
Oh my god, that was like
and she's just like, "Check please."
Yeah, how many times are people going to have to go through stuff like that?
Put that in your little black book, Kev, that one. That'll come out at some stage.
Yeah.
This is obviously very early computer dating. It's not the apps and quite level. So.
Yeah, and how funny, Ben Kingsley's and then obviously the music over this part of the scene is again horrific. But when she's going, "Oh yeah, that's the last time I'll do computer dating," and he's like, hold on, big reveal. There's no way he would get matched with her.
That's rude. Can you imagine him being like, oh,
Yeah, like, yeah, I did. I lied about my photos.
I don't know anything about this lady apart from how she looks, but there's just no way that a computer would match her with him.
Yeah,
Just like, oh, that's so rude.
It's so ridiculous.
He's top of his field. He's an electronics master.
But on that basis, that's why I went for Ben Kingsley. I thought it'd be the best character. I think I'm attaching too much with the villains these days. Something's going wrong.
It does seem to have been a thread in the last few, has to be said.
Definitely need a holiday, I think. Yeah.
18 podcasts down or left. Yeah, that's the reason why.
Yeah. Will he make it? That's the question. Yeah.
He's going to
this is your origin story, Kev. We'll see how dark you go through the 100 films.
Yeah, I'm just going to put Falling Down on, guys. So I'll see you in a minute.
The first film of season 2 is Falling Down.
Falling Down, bang straight in with a banger. What about you, Andy?
It all started with a leather jacket and a nice hat, and you're all fun-loving. Yeah. And by the end, you're going to be nunchucks.
The innocence. We had Limitless, and then Andy was continually gaslighting me, telling me it's not a good film. Oh, damn. Go on, Andy. Who did you have then?
No, I was trying to think who was the best dancer in the random dancing scene when they're all dancing with Liz. I'm not sure it was very random.
Don't think they practiced that. No.
Yeah, I think it's ad-libbed in. I mean, I identify with River. I think the young up and coming with all of the old people. I think that's probably where I thought. Where I thought.
God, how many times do you think you've seen this film?
Loads, loads and loads.
Like over 100.
Yeah, probably over the 30 years that it's been.
Wow.
92.
Yeah, blimey. That's probably why it's so high, I guess.
Yeah. I would say this was definitely like, it was. It felt more nostalgic than it did.
Good.
I mean, the thing is, this is why it's a favorite list. I do feel like I get criticized for when I select films that are just very good films, and everyone's like, "But this isn't enjoyable. This is rubbish." And then when I go for just one that I enjoy, and then it's like, "Well, this isn't a good film, is it?" Make up your mind.
It's just part of the fun of the podcast, Andy. It's just.
If you had some close buddies that you grouped up with, you'd be fine, but you're actually always on the outskirts.
It's all these old
got to keep it interesting
people,
for the fans.
Old retired people that I'm hanging out with. We had one great line from the date. I do also love when she arrives and he says, "Are you ready for the dim sum bar?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm in no hurry." He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll be back. I'll be right back then." He's been waiting to get to the dim sum. Obviously, we've seen a glimpse into Rob's dating persona by identifying with him. I liked Robert Redford's throwaway. Yeah, I could have joined the NSA, but I found out my parents were married. I think that was a very 90s throwaway line. Yeah. Obviously, a bit, And it should be like if they found out my parents weren't related. It would have been a better line.
Would have been even more
just
cutting.
Like they weren't married, and in the 90s that was damning. And now you're like, no one's married. It costs loads of money and it's a tax dodge. I like it also when Dan Aykroyd said when he thinks that they're going to get caught, he says, "We're going to spend the next 20 years in the electric chair." And I was just like, I'm not sure that's how that works.
It's really slow.
It's just like a static electricity shock. And I think it's really funny when he gets caught and he sees he gets taken back into the room with Liz, and she says, how are you? And she says, "Oh, fine, how are you?" And he's like, and she's like, "Yeah." And she just they've been caught and they're just about to get shot, and he's just like, one of those days.
Yeah, didn't see this coming. Yeah.
How about you guys? Any other lines you wrote down?
Not from me. Yeah, I had the sort. Yeah, the phone and the nudge.
What a surprise!
Watched it on mute. Didn't even.
I'm starting to wonder if Rob actually watched this. Put it on 2 minutes in. No
I'm
way.
doing a
Not watching
Carla
this.
and just pretending I watch these films.
Yeah, I
I
can't
had,
believe the whole thing was set in 1969. It was rubbish.
Yeah.
The bit about the
Strangely-
trainers I got lost on, but
Rob keeps referencing Robert Redford's other movies. So strangely.
And Matt Damon and Ben Affleck turn up, and they don't even talk to Michael Jordan. How about you, Kev? Any that do you think describe the pod?
Oh yeah, I had a good one for that. But one other line I did have was when he's negotiating with the so-called NSA agents, but are actually whoever they are, Russians or the people that work for Cosmo. He's like, "What if I say no?" And they're like, "Don't say no." I thought that was quite good. You're right. I mean,
good,
let's not worry about working out an alternative and be like, you're going to be killed by sharks with lasers. We'll just be like, just don't say no, and you know exactly what that means.
And then we don't have to find out.
Yeah, for the pod I had, we have to go in there and do what we do, and then we have to leave. And that's what we get into now. What about you?
Well, I had two that sort of a bit back to back. So obviously the first one is when he says it's a living, and she says not a very good one. I think that's something. Yeah. And then as a follow up, you don't have a business, you have a club. You have a boys' club with a clubhouse. And I think that's I think that so far is proving the case with our sponsors. Yeah, quite a few three-star reviews. One of the strangest ones, in all caps. Redford, Portier and company are excellent, full of twists and turns with no end in sight. I delight in new surprises previously missed with each viewing. Check it out. 3 stars.
Wow.
Feels like that review. I would love to see what they put for a 5-star review. I think that would be
like they underline blood or something.
Yeah. Someone said a star of the 60s, Poitier's ex-CIA man, a star of the 70s, Robert Redford's pioneering computer hacker, a star of the 80s, Dan Aykroyd's conspiracy theorist, and an up-and-coming one of the 90s, with a Phoenix underutilized, only partially reformed juvenile delinquent, with David Stratham's blind computer expert, a recently Oscar-nominated Mary McDowell as Redford's ex, and a pre-Call Me Sir Ben Kingsley thrown in for respectability. It's a bit like, well, does that mean that the others aren't respectable? But yeah, they just, again,
3 stars.
Only 3 stars
After that hugely praised review. 3 stars.
Yeah.
He died,
and then
River died the year after, so I'd imagine
did he?
Probably one of his last couple that he did.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's in 2 more. This was the first one from Own Private Idaho, which apparently is the one that messed him up. And when he started doing a lot of the drugs.
So it wasn't like him doing cocaine with Sidney Poitier in this one, then.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it was cocaine that was that was the problem. But like, I think sort of in a lot of the write-ups and stuff, it was that this was supposed to just be like a sort of an easy film for him to kind of come back into, not have to do particularly anything much. And like, obviously it proved to be, but he was also, they were trying to keep him clean, I think, throughout, and struggling to do it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Tough
Life.
Shame.
Brought the mood down on the pod, that didn't it?
Yeah, we'll edit that bit out. Excellent.
Happens,
we'll just take it out.
Yeah, 3 stars. I've given this movie a 3-star rating mainly because I purchased this for a relative who's a Robert Redford fan, and she said that it's not his best movie and he's not the main star. It is okay and fairly enjoyable to watch, but nothing special. Thank you. That person was
the main star.
The big little speech.
Sure.
He is the main star, but I think it's also fair to say that if the person got this movie expecting this to be Robert Redford's best movie, maybe they're going to be disappointed. And
I
then
do
someone
like
else.
I do like the dedication that they've even had to write a review for a present they've given to someone.
Yeah,
But they just want to close the loop, keep
Yeah,
their ratings.
and said thank you for us presumably reading it. You get a lot of very polite people in the 3-star reviews.
Yeah.
And then someone else's review was just everything,
Wow.
3 stars. I was like, huh, that's thought provoking.
Yeah. It summed it up perfectly. I'm with them. I got it.
Just everything. So what did you have for the double feature?
Well, yeah, I thought, Oceans. Probably 8.
Yeah. How a heist movie should be done.
Yeah.
11, are we talking? Are you 12
Gotta go
or
11
13?
first,
Or?
I think. Yeah, I went 11.
Yeah, no, it's got to be, isn't it?
Wow. Is that in your top 100, Kev? Are we seeing that in season 2?
One of them definitely is. I won't tell you which number. It's between 1 and 13. I'll tell you that.
12.
11 and 13. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well we'll get Rob back on for season 2 for that one. He'll love it. He loves a buddy movie.
Yeah.
He'll be so excited. I hope it's soon. I went with whichever film we decided was the winner of the best 90s award. So Free Jacket is. Very, very
I did wonder about Thomas Crown Affair as well, but I think it's the same sort of pace as this. So I don't think it would work. You would be struggling. You need something a bit more fast paced after this.
Yeah.
And you'll have to grow your curtains hairstyle again and to watch them both. So it might be a couple of weeks.
Nice. Well, we should get that up. We'll get a nice picture of you.
My shirt with my t-shirt underneath, my shirt buttons undone.
Oh,
it was the time.
Yeah.
Tight
t-shirt. Be fine.
Yeah. Cool. What did you go for the algo then? The algo has come up with first of all with 5 films. The algo has done nothing to disqualify itself this week and has a strong presence, I would say.
All right. Well, I went for the
Life
Net.
is Beautiful. Yeah.
Do you remember that with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
The Conversation I've added in, and then.
Do you know The Conversation? I feel like that you've just heard that this was like The Conversation. Have you ever watched The Conversation?
I've not, but we've spoken about it on the pod a couple of times, and you told me what it was about. So I was like, well, I'm going to use that reference knowledge from prior podcasts.
You are an AI at this point. You are language processing for all the films that we've talked about on the pod.
I'll stick with that. I don't want to twist on my third one. I'll stick there.
Yeah, okay. So the algo went Ocean's 11, went The Conversation, went Enemy of the State, went War Games, and then actually had Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which was their left field one. Yeah. I think because of the spy element, I would have thought, and like the who is the spy and who isn't the spy.
Well, thanks, Anne. Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, well,
it's not the same as this film, though, is it?
No, I don't. Well, if you like this film, would you like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy? I don't know. Well,
I don't know because I don't know anyone who likes this film.
Well, funnily enough, I don't like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and I like this film. So
there you go.
Actually, we've just proved it. Maybe we should get Rob to decide which. If you like this film,
who wins?
What other films do you think people would like?
Just remember, Rob, I've got some good films on season 2 that you might want to be joining for.
I got told off, Kev, last time I got involved in the comparisons, and evidently it's not a guest function; it's you two only. So
50 lashes
on that score. Well, I'm going to give it to the algo, just 2 fingers.
Wow. Wow.
He's he's been a pleasure to be down in the shop this time.
And then I didn't know anything about this, Rob. This was all behind my back. This is the first I'm hearing of it. And this is how you cut me down. Unbelievable.
And I'm not going to rewind my next video I bring back.
Oh my God. Well, you wait. The next video, we're going to put in a different video in the case. And it's just going to be sneakers every time.
Just keep putting it back in. No, I think anyway, I think War Games is a good show, actually. So
I don't know.
Tinker
and
Tailor,
the fact
a bit random.
What was your third that you were going to put in?
Well, I didn't think it was close enough, but the game was my other option.
Yeah,
which it is.
It's a bit more twisty.
Yeah, and it's not obviously like a heist, so
yeah.
But yeah, well, it doesn't matter now. We've both got robbers and enemies, so it's fine. We know where we stand. That's okay.
You and the AI as well. So that's 40 to 29. I think you've secured. Oh, well, I suppose you haven't secured the win. Well, yeah, you have. Yeah. No, you need to get
40 to 29.
Well, yeah, we only started this, I think, halfway through. So
yeah, well, AI only became big halfway through us doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Taking so long.
The technology has just moved on, much like this movie.
Well, it's at number 20, a round number. We all know how you feel about those. Where's it moving to?
Yeah, so I think it can fall down a little bit down the list. Obviously, Jojo Rabbit's in at 20. I think when I was sort of going through the ones, and I think this is I kind of do fall a little bit into your trap as well. You go down the list and you're like, yeah, that probably still means more to me or is better than this film. But then you look at films underneath that film and you're like, but there's a bit better. But on that basis, I'm going to put it down to 27. Because sort of Licorice Pizza is kind of the stop where I'm like, yeah, there's still, there's some nostalgia and stuff. It's not that I'd rather watch this than Licorice Pizza necessarily. Yeah. But yeah, it has a lot of memories. It's very 90s. It brings, there was a time. So, I'm gonna move it down there, which I think sort of bumps everything up so that we've now only got one gap in the 30s still.
God. So you must be super happy about that. This is
it helps with the OCD of it has to be said. So
something's going to have to drop then if you've got a 30 sort of slot free.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, Rob, every chance there's a lot ahead of us.
Well, funnily enough, the slot is Return of the Jedi. So it was also a bit like, is Return of the Jedi going to be the highest rated Star Wars film? In which case, Star Wars would fall down.
30. Wow.
Yeah, that's where it was. So
yeah, but you can't have this as nostalgia and then even sort of knock Star Wars, even though actually when you watch it now after you've ruined the saga of doing these pods.
I feel like you worry too much about the actual the structure of this podcast, Rob. Like the amount of phone calls
laminated. The amount of phone calls that we've had. But how come you're on episode 80, but you're not on number 20?
I just want a bit of structure. That's all I want.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Obviously, that won't be the next time that we'll speak to you. Because we've got another trilogy to talk to before then. What about you, Kev? Then how low did it go? I guess is the question.
It went into the okay section, so it's down at sort of mid-ish okay. So at number 48, below Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and above Bugsy Malone.
Yeah, okay.
So just about sneaked into the okay section.
Yeah. I did think that they were really trying to push this was the greatest sneak in history, as though like sneak was a thing. They said it 3 or 4 times, and you're like, I don't think that's gonna catch on.
Yeah, that never ever caught on at all, did it?
they were giving it a go. But then, yeah, hacking started, and everyone was like, "Yeah, no, that sounds way cooler.
That's much better.
So
Yeah.
we're just gonna do that rather than sneaking." Well,
Mm.
there we go. Yeah, we're. Thanks, Rob, for coming down and watching a film that you didn't like.
Not taking any notes and taking the AI side. All of these things have been.
So we'll maybe
taken
see you
care
for
of.
another one, or yeah, maybe we won't. Don't worry, we would have forgotten all about this by the time that we
Where's
do the next one.
Aragon sword? Where's that lying around here?
We probably won't even mention it by the time that we do the next one. So, for next week, we are well in with podcast style and radio journalists, including the line. It's 0600. What does the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early. Looking forward to that. Thanks, Tom Miller, for the theme song as ever. And I think we're gonna pop out now for pizza and just avoid the cops coming to find us.